We believe cities are about people. Mori Building.
Mitsui & Company.
Enjoy traveling around East Japan. The Shinkansen will take you to the land of nature and hospitality. East Japan Railway Company.
Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Mai Denizu.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week, we bring you the freshest information out of Japan from a studio here in Tokyo.
From the economy to culture and even food, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it.
We bring you Channel Japan Ranking, in which we rank some of the hottest products and services in the country.
Yes, and today we'll be showing you a ranking of food. And weather is becoming colder in Japan, and we're beginning to hear of people catching the flu. Being sick often makes you lose your appetite. And one survey asked some male readers of an online news site what they feel like eating when they have a cold.
Yes.
The top comes udon noodles, which are made from flour, and it has a long history in Japan as a very accessible commoner's food, and was sometimes even eaten as a substitute for rice.
Yes, and udon can be eaten at restaurants, but also easily prepared udon dishes at our houses using this kind of pre-cooked noodles.
Well, although this is data of udon and soba noodles combined, annual consumption is 15 kilograms per household. So assuming an average serving contains about 200 grams like this package, that would mean 75 servings per household,
Wow,
which is
much.
quite a lot.
Yes. So today we'll introduce udon restaurants with unique business ideas.
おつゆも美味しいし、おうどんもこうシコシコして。
These udon noodles really whet your appetite. This restaurant prospers thanks to its exquisite udon. Its customers queue all the way from the top of the stairs to inside the restaurant, just for the salted cod roe and egg udon. At this restaurant, even the rain doesn't deter customers lining up for its noodles in a special dashi broth. And this restaurant serves up 400 bowls in just 5 hours of its chilled udon dipped in steaming mushroom broth. We uncover some unique udon restaurants exclusive to the Tokyo metropolitan area, so good that you won't mind queuing. In Tokyo's Roppongi district is an udon restaurant that attracts long lines. It does a roaring trade with 5 stores in Tokyo and a further 7 in Osaka. It's renowned not only for its flavor, but also for the presentation of the dishes.
わあ、すっごい器大きいですね。
The noodle bowls really impress the customers. They're enormous at 30 centimeters across. Not only the bowls, but the menu is also impressive, offering an array of unique interpretations of udon dishes. The most popular menu item is the starchy egg soup udon topped with salty cod roe at around $13.
明太子はこのつぶつぶふんだんに入っているので プチプチプチプチプチプチ食感がいいですね。
The roe, direct from Hakata in Kyushu, gets mixed in the soup and chewy noodles and quickly fills the mouth with flavor. There's also an addictive, rich and creamy cod roe udon, which is very popular with female customers. In the summer months, udon chilled straight from the pot and sprinkled with pickled plum is a hit at $10 per bowl. The shredded plum pulp goes in the dipping sauce to accompany the chilled udon. The room in which customers eat their udon dishes is also a feature.
個室になってますね。
Many celebrities eat here, and there are lots of private rooms to accommodate them at the back of the restaurant.
お部屋シャンデリアがありますよ。しかもこの壁ステンレスですよ。この空間どう思いました？入って。
なんか間違いなく。
Reservations are required at dinner time, but rooms are available free of charge during lunch and are also popular with foreign customers.
おいしい。
気持ちがとてもいいです。
At another chain restaurant, a unique attraction takes place. This restaurant also attracts large crowds of customers. The queue goes all the way from the top of the stairs to inside the restaurant. Incredibly, this udon restaurant stages live music performances. It's developed a cutting-edge style of dining. There is also a Sanuki-style udon restaurant in Tokyo's Okubo. Despite the incredibly cheap prices, it prides itself on making noodles by hand.
歯ごたえがあって美味しいです。ペロッといけちゃう。
手軽さじゃないですかね。値段と手軽さ。
The cheapest udon dish here is $3. Both slick and chewy, the noodles will have you coming back for more. This udon restaurant in Tokyo is the lone sister store of the original, which hails from Shikoku's Kagawa prefecture. Even in the rain, long queues form to get a taste of true Sanuki udon noodles. The recommendation is pot egg udon, about $4 a bowl. Pour the special sauce over the noodles and mix in with an egg.
ちょうどいいこのもっちり感と、そして表面のつるっとした喉越し感と、めちゃめちゃバランスがいいです。いい感じに卵が絡んでます。
To ensure a high customer turnover, lunchtime is self-service. The minimum daily target is 300 orders a day. If they don't sell at least this many dishes, they can't break even. When the restaurant is especially crowded, they ask for customers' cooperation.
はい、米やってますのでご相席ご協力お願いします。
ひたすら麺を茹でてらっしゃる店長さんですね。
The noodles have a special boiling technique. They must be boiled for 15 minutes to achieve a smooth and chewy texture. The manager uses 2 pots at once so that the constant flow of customers are catered to immediately. The steam from the pots turns the kitchen into a sauna.
上から声が。
Another specialty can be found at the back of the kitchen.
ここは何をする場所なんですか？
ここは製麺所ですね。
To prepare the dough for the following day, the manager seizes any spare time he has to come out here and make it. He has a particular way of prepping it.
すいません、これは何をしているところなんですか？
これ今生地を踏んでます。
This technique is the base for Sanuki-style udon. Using your feet is necessary to ensure firm noodles. It's also essential that the prepared dough is rested in the refrigerator for 2 days to mature.
でもちょっと手間かけすぎじゃないですか？
まあ手間はね無料ですんで。
The most popular type of noodles made by the manager here are the udon noodles chilled in ice water. The noodles in this bowl use fragrant Hokkaido flour with a splash of lemon juice, while the broth is a delicious blend of bonito and sea kelp. At just $4, no time or effort is spared in making this exquisite dish. Once you try it, you'll go back for more. In fact, 90% of customers order this noodle dish again after they first try it.
一般の値段が295円ですので、薄利多売でやっておりますので、効率はいいんですけども、この値段が出せるギリギリの値段です。
Meanwhile, in Saitama Prefecture, there's an udon restaurant that once sold 400 bowls of noodles in only 5 hours. It's by the side of a main road. But there are no customers to be seen. Is this really doing good business?
のれんすごいことになってますね。元祖という文字はかろうじて読めますけど、またなんて書いてあったのかすらわからない。
The curtain is in tatters. We're a little hesitant to enter. But soon after...
お、すごい、もうどんどん中からお客さんが出てきますけども、入り口かなりお客さん止まってますね。
The restaurant is full of customers intently slurping their udon noodles.
つゆも美味しいし、おうどんもこうシコシコしてコシがあってきのこが大きいし、家で作ってもなかなか及ばない。
The restaurant's signature dish is the mushroom soup udon at $7 a bowl. The firm noodles, which are chilled in ice water after being boiled, are dipped in a piping hot sauce with lots of mushrooms.
すごい、噛んだ瞬間に椎茸のエキスがザーッと出てきたものが麺に絡みついて、すっごい味が濃くなる。合いますね。
The second generation shop owner is responsible for making the mushroom soup. The flavor that his father created is a closely guarded secret. Since taking over the restaurant 14 years ago, he has steadfastly refused to reveal how it's made to anyone.
社長さん以外は誰もキノコのつけ汁は作れないんですか？
そうですね。私が死んだら終わり。
But how exactly does he make this mushroom soup? We decided to stake out the place where he performs the strictly confidential process every morning. As we approach the kitchen,
ちょっとこの辺りでお話を聞かせていただきつつ、いいですよ。いいですか？
he's covering the pot. It seems like he sautés the mushrooms, and the secret is in the cooking process.
キノコを炒めたりする時の温度。何度ぐらいがいいとかっていうのを。
何度ぐらいっていうのは言えないんですけど、長年の勘でシークレットするの。
He keeps everything under wraps and won't reveal anything.
カメラに映りたくない、映したくないということで、完全に背中を向けて調理をされてます。
These are the freshly cooked mushrooms.
先代に教えていただいて、そのまんまやってるだけなんで。
すごい。いっぱいあります。
Despite our hopes that he would show us how he makes the mushroom dipping soup, this was also off limits. In the end, we still don't know how it's made. It turns out there's a reason why the sought-after mushroom soup has remained such a closely guarded secret. It's because of the hardships his father endured to create the soup recipe over his lifetime.
どこもうどん屋修行行かずにこの今あるうどん屋っていうのを自分で独自に考え出したと誇りに思ってますね。
As for that tatty shop curtain, it's still being used as a reminder of the time when, as a novice, the shop was passed down to him by his father.
The region that consumes the most udon is Kagawa Prefecture in Shikoku Island, and the amount is twice the average, meaning 150 servings. 150 of these are consumed per household annually.
And that's it for Channel Japan Ranking. After the break, we'll be showing you a documentary program, so stay tuned.
Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green solar power systems in Singapore.
Sistem AC ramah lingkungan di Indonesia.
Eco changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
The Sport Truck. New Mitsubishi Triton.
Drive at Earth Mitsubishi Motors.
Let's enjoy Japan.
Wonderful.
I knew you'd like this.
You know me so well. Where to next?
Golf,
Wonderful.
Japanese garden,
That's wonderful too.
onsen with a Fujisan view.
Wonderful.
Let's go then.
いらっしゃいませ. Wonderful.
Incredible.
Smiles ahead. Seibu Group.
You're watching Channel Japan. In our next segment, we'll introduce some of our popular documentary programs. Today, from Japanese Dream by TBS, we'll introduce a doctor who is taking on the challenge of treating a patient who is suffering from after effects of stroke.
Stroke. A disease where a blocked blood vessel in the brain causes neurons to die. It can cause hemiparesis, speech difficulties, visual impairment, and in the worst case, even death. Akihiko Taguchi, Doctor of Medicine, is studying new methods for the treatment of strokes.
いやほんまにね知ってる今だかつて脳梗塞をなってから治した人は一人もおれんね
Dead neurons do not regenerate. Because of this, strokes were considered an irreversible disease. Taguchi's clinical trials, however, have shown surprising results. 9 of 12 patients with severe strokes that threatened to keep them bedridden for life recovered sufficiently enough to walk on their own. Curing a disease no one has ever cured with a treatment no one has ever tried. We follow him as he takes on the challenge of opening new doors towards the treatment of strokes.
I have a dream.
Akihiko Taguchi of the Institute of Biomedical Research and Innovation Laboratory in Kobe is pursuing a revolutionary new approach to curing strokes. Taguchi's treatment is currently in the clinical trial stage. 9 of 12 patients with a severe stroke who were told they could be bedridden for life recovered sufficiently enough to walk on their own.
動悸がすることもないんですか？はい。
Fujikawa is one of those patients.
重いですよ、かなり重いですって言われて、でもしかしたら寝たきりになるかもしれませんってその時にちょっと言われたんです。
This is the MRI taken at that time. The white areas are where the neurons died. The area is quite large.
立とうとしてもですね、全く力が入らない、崩れるように倒れていくんですかね。まあこれで終わったのかなと思いましたね。
Stroke often strikes without warning. Treatment is a battle against the clock. If treated within 4.5 hours, clot-busting drugs can be administered. The drugs, however, don't always work. And if the patient is not found immediately, neurons are extremely frail and die after a short time. Once neurons die, the only hope is rehabilitation therapy.
どうやって神経機能を再生するんだっていうのね、成功例がまだ本当に誰もないんですよね。だからそれはやっぱりね、その変なやつっていうかね、全然ね、常識にとらわれないっていうかね、いろんなことを考えていって違う方面からね研究していかないとそれは解けないとは僕は思うね。
先生ご自身で自分を変なやつと思われますか？
みんな言うね。
No one had ever succeeded before, so he needed to take an unconventional approach. Taguchi then focused on the blood vessels rather than the neurons. He believed neurological function could be restored by rejuvenating the blood vessels and supplying the areas around the dead neurons with oxygen and nutrients. Research that goes against conventional thinking often meets with strong backlash. Taguchi remains undeterred because he has the support of his colleagues. Taguchi's mentor is Professor Matsuyama of Hyogo College of Medicine. Matsuyama developed the stroke lab mice that allowed Taguchi to conduct his research. Although more than 10 years junior, he's unabashed about bouncing ideas off of his mentor.
それだけではちょっとカバーできないところがあるんじゃないかと、まあ基礎の立場としてはそう思うけど、いつもそこで大体こういつも大体喧嘩するんだよ。
なるほどね、確かに何気に
大体彼がなるほど5回言ったら分かってないってことだから気ぃつけるよね。5回繰り返したらもうやらんという。
These frank, heated discussions have led to numerous breakthroughs.
そこまで言うてないやろうが。彼は集まる人も多いけれど、嫌う人も多いわね、特に先輩ね。
そうですよね。
面と向かって先生の言ってることは科学的でないとか言われて、こう。
怒らない先輩がおるか。いませんよね、そんな。
それはね、俺やから。
正直どう言ったらいいんでしょうね。
わからん。でもはっきりものを言うんだよね。いいものはいい。悪いものは悪い。で、わからんものはわからんとはっきり言うでしょ。だから次に進むんですわ。話が。
The clinical trials began 9 years after he began his research.
こんにちは。今日はいろいろよろしくお願いします。
Hiroshi Fujikawa became his first patient. This is how the treatment regimen works. First, marrow aspirate is extracted from the patient's bone. The bone marrow aspirate and a separating agent are placed in a centrifuge.
黄色は結晶成分で、これは分離液で、これは赤血球で、この白いもやもやっとしたのがありますよね。ここわかりますかね。
This layer contains a large number of hematopoietic stem cells from which blood originates. The stem cells are separated and intravenously injected back into the patient. As the stem cells circulate in the blood vessels become rejuvenated. It was previously known that cells from which neurons originated appeared in the area around the damaged neurons. But these cells are unable to survive and die off before becoming new neurons for unknown reasons. If the rejuvenated blood vessels supplied oxygen and nutrients to these cells, they might become new neurons. Taguchi tested his hypothesis and began clinical trials after repeated experiments. Fujikawa, who could be bedridden due to serious conditions, gradually began to improve. He left the hospital 4 months later. By then, he was able to walk out on his own. Blood flow in the brain shows a clear increase at 6 months after treatment, compared with the one at 1 month. The rejuvenated blood vessels are believed to have restored neurological function. Five years have passed. Fujikawa continues to be examined by Taguchi once every month.
本当に力入れるのもすごく早くなってきましたよね。昔はね、考えてからしばらくからでしたけども。
先生のお顔みんな楽しみで。
12 patients with a serious stroke, including Fujikawa, were subjects of the clinical trial. 6 months later, 9 patients had recovered sufficiently to walk on their own. There is no anxiety about safety issues. A cure for stroke is still well into the future. Taguchi keenly feels the need for his colleagues' assistance.
先生が目指す、脳卒中の普遍的な治療ということに関してはまだまだハードルが高いというふうに思います。先生もよく分かってはると思うんですけれども、決して諦めるな。でも少しは年寄りの言うことも聞きましょうね。
Fujikawa, who first received Taguchi's treatment 5 years ago, works hard at home to improve even further.
それはもうやってよかったなと。やってよかったと思うね。だからある意味で私もですね、一生懸命歩けるようにならないと先生に申し訳ないという思いもあるし、徐々に心の中では自信を持ってきてるんで、来年には相当ですね回復すると思います。
先生のされてる治療がもっとたくさんの人に評価されて、普通に誰でも受けれる時代が早く来ればいいなって願っています。
さすが松山先生も偉いですよね。本当にこの仕事をして一番思うのはやっぱり、自分自身非常に恵まれてるとは思いますね。 まあそうやね、やっぱり脳梗塞の患者さんと認知症の患者さんが、コロコロ治るようになることですよね。スカッとね。
It was quite amazing to see the bedridden patient being able to walk again in just half a year.
Yes, I agree. And this treatment would really give hope to the patient's family who's supporting the long process of rehabilitation. Well, after the break, we'll be showing an episode from popular economics program, Gachiri Monday. So stay tuned.
Tomorrow never ends with you. With you. When the morning falls, we there so long. Well, I know we'll never.
For life's greatest moments. Bridgestone.
Myanmar. Red. United. 世界への挑戦 Passion, Spirit. 次のプレミアムフィールドへ。
You're watching Channel Japan. Next, we'll be showing you a popular Japanese economics program, Gachiri Monday by TBS. So today we'll introduce various restaurants who has succeeded in being profitable while providing customer with high cost rate menus.
Customers are happy when restaurants use expensive ingredients, but this makes it hard for restaurants to be profitable. Recently, more restaurants are inventing creative ways to use expensive ingredients while still making a profit. In this highly competitive industry, we will introduce the strategies of some profitable restaurants that serve delicious dishes that use expensive ingredients. First, we headed to Okinawa Prefecture. We met the editor-in-chief of a food magazine.
看板商品に、原価をジャブジャブ使ってメニューミックスで原価率を抑えてる店、ものすごい頭のいい店なんですよ。こちらのお店です。ここはい、いけすの銀次という店ですね。
Fresh fish is this restaurant's specialty. It looks like an ordinary pump with a fish tank. After 8 o'clock, all the tables are full.
実を言いますと、こちらのお店って選べる5点、おけ刺し盛り、これをお店でキラーコンテンツって呼んでまして、これは原価率がだいたい120から 140% ぐらいなんですね。
The more expensive food is very popular among customers. The sashimi platter allows you to choose 5 different fish from the 10 that are offered. It is priced at $5 or more, so no matter which fish is chosen, the cost rate is at least 120%.
毎回注文します。
The the restaurant still makes ends meet with such a high cost rate.
言い方は悪いんですけれども、お客様に対する蒔絵のような。いいんですか、言っちゃって大丈夫だと思います。
The owner of the restaurant gave his honest opinion.
おっしゃる通りだと思います。はい。こればっかり頼まれるときつい。
We learned that they have their own strategies for making a profit. First of all, the only item on the menu which has a cost rate higher than 100% is the sashimi. The cost rates of other menu items are less than 40%. Usually, customers order other items besides sashimi. This is why they can keep the overall cost rate low.
これは日替わりメニューっていう、紙メニューと呼んでるんですけれども、これ毎日変わる。
The owner shows us the menu of the daily specials. Here is the secret behind their profitability.
このスズキのプラス200円というものだけ、これ原価率 30% ぐらいに収めてる。で、それが原価率 140% とかのところに、このスズキの 30% を入れることで、キラーコンテンツの原価も下がる。
The cost rate of the sashimi platter with 5 different fish is over 120%, with a price of $5. But as an option, customers can add sea bass to make it 6 items by paying $2 more. So by adding sea bass with a cost rate of 30% to this day's menu, the sashimi platter of 5 items, which cost rate is 120%, becomes a menu item whose cost rate is 94%.
頭いいですよね。その一言ですね。
Also, they have another secret behind the layout of the day's special menu. Every day, the store manager and the head chef spend about 1 hour to work out the daily special.
活魚はちょっと高原価で、特集も高原価で、周りのものをちょっと原価率の抑えた値決めにしましょうという。
The layout looks like this. The high-cost items are put on the upper right, the medium-cost items on the lower half, and the low-cost items are put on the upper left. Because customers tend to select items from every corner, they unconsciously make a well-balanced order of items with different cost rates. Even with a relatively high average cost rate of 38%, this store is still profitable. Next, we headed to Osaka. This restaurant called Kakigoya Laundry also makes money serving high-cost oysters. We went inside to find it packed with customers.
はい、どうぞお待たせしました。食べ比べです。
Their specialty is this sampler of 3 to 4 kinds of oysters, which changes every day. A piece of oyster normally costs at least $5 in Tokyo, but they offer them for $3 here.
めちゃめちゃ安いですよね、ここ。もう夏でも牡蠣食えんねんなって感じですよ、ほんまに。
This eatery is only 20 square meters, but they make $40,000 per month. Here is their cost rate.
最初 60% ぐらいだったのが今45から 50% ぐらいにはなってるんですよ。
The cost rate of 45% is still way above the average rate. But they still make a profit by serving such costly items.
まあここのお店だったらもう彼一人でやってるし。一人でやってる？一人でやってるんですよ。
With only one person running the whole store, labor costs are kept very low. They have other creative ideas to keep the costs low.
お店を作るときに名物料理で10人来たらもう 9.9 人が頼む料理で、うちやったら牡蠣バケツ、牡蠣のガンガン焼きみたいなメニューなんで、これもう 100%。 うちの店長もね、もうやることが決まってるんですよ。
This oyster bucket is the most popular item at this place. It costs $30. The secret behind the ease of running this eatery is because this dish is so easy to prepare. First, the oysters are washed and put into a stock pot. Then previously chopped vegetables are added. Soup stock, which was also previously prepared, is added, and then it is put on the stove. The pot is then served to the customers. Because they want many people to order this menu item, it is placed on the most conspicuous area of the menu. They also encourage customers to have wine with the oysters. By suggesting customers to order wine in the bottle, they can minimize the time it takes to serve drinks.
こんな食べたんですか？これが1人前。めっちゃ安い。
Next, we visited a restaurant in Aichi Prefecture.
一期一会。
It is a sushi restaurant called Ichigo Ichie. It looks quite ordinary with the sushi chefs standing behind the counter. The one thing that is totally different from other restaurants is the price. All the sushi, including fatty tuna, sea urchin, and abalone, is about $1.50. So this store is always packed with customers.
普通では食べれないのが150円っていうのは同じです。
我ら庶民には大変ありがたいです。
Here's how much they make per month.
だいたい1000万から1300万ぐらい。だいたい 54% ぐらいですね。
54？
はい。
これは？
これも 30% ぐらいです。
これは？
これは 25% ぐらいです。
これ？
これ 30% ぐらいです。
これは？
これが大体 35% ぐらいですね。大トロは原価 150% 以上。
150？
はい。
じゃあこれは損する。
大赤字。
Also, conger eel's cost rate is 150%. Raw prawn is 160%. The average cost rate of all items at this store is about 54%.
それで儲けてます？
なんとか、はい。一応いろんな秘密があって。
There are reasons that allow them to still be profitable with a cost rate of 54%.
立地。立地？はい。何にもないですよ。逆に立地が悪いから家賃が低い。
Rents here are about 1/3 that of Tokyo. It's in a residential area, 10 minutes walk from the station. Also, the restaurant is on the second floor because the rent is $2,000 a month compared to $3,000 for the first floor. Usually, most stores spend about 10% of their sales on rent, but this restaurant only spends 2%. There are also rewards to having the restaurant in a residential area.
宅配寿司を一緒にやってます。だいたい持ち家のお客様が多くて。
In fact, families in the suburbs have more opportunities to have home parties and use delivery services more often than a single person living in urban areas. And delivery makes good money.
1ヶ月、多い時で400万ぐらい。
400？
はい。
40% of their total sales comes just from delivery alone. Another strategy they have is distributing flyers to houses in the neighborhood.
お客様によってやっぱりこれとこれを一緒に頼む方が多くて、こういうのがやっぱり儲かりますね。
これ原価ですか？
原価率は 25% ぐらいですこれ。はい。
By placing the low-cost items just below the most popular and high-cost items on the flyer, it increases profits because customers tend to order both. By minimizing the rent and the making of the most of their location, they are able to become even more profitable. Here's the next eatery.
こちらのお店です。こちら？はい。
It's called Lokakai, located under a bridge of a train station. The entrance is only 1.8 meters wide.
狭い中で、みんなが一緒に焼肉を食べる。
Many people are packed into a tiny area of just 7 square meters and eat Korean barbecue while standing. Here is the owner of the store. We ask how much he makes per month.
売上月大体2本ほどですかね。坪単価が大体100万ちょっとぐらい。
They make $20,000 for 2.2 tsubo or 7 square meters. What is the cost rate here?
大体 55% ぐらいだと思ってもらえるといいと思います。
Each meat dish is priced below $5. And the most popular platter includes high-quality meat, is only $10 for 6 items. We asked the secret behind their profitability with such a high cost rate.
まずお一人で営業されているので、人件費を 5% に下げてるんですね。家賃を非常に抑えてまして。
The owner runs this small eatery by himself. His strategy to lower the labor cost and rent made it possible to make a profit despite the high cost rate. We were told that the most unique aspect of the store can be seen if we ate there ourselves. So we joined the customers to find out.
ありがとうございます。
じゃあ新しい方これでね、乾杯しましょう。フラント手にお疲れ様です。乾杯。
お疲れ様です。乾杯。
They started toasting each other. Most customers come here alone. They appear quite friendly, but they are actually strangers that met here.
1000盛りよろしくお願いします。はい、了解です。はい、お肉1000分になります。真ん中のお肉がですね、マルチョウという肉ですね。で、こちら足指レッツの肉ですね。
あの方お客さんですよね。
はい、そうです。結構長年ここに通ってる人間なんで、はい。
This customer explains the dish to other customers. Another customer puts away empty dishes. And they even help with checking and giving change. At this unique eatery, the customers help out with the service. Thanks to their cooperation, the owner could run the place on his own. Also, the system created another phenomenon.
ここであれですよね、ご結婚されたカップル、だいぶ成立してるんですよね。15組ですか。15組。
Some single customers meet and form friendships, sometimes even leading to marriage. This eatery became popular by word of mouth and is always full with customers. Thanks to its tasty food and great atmosphere for forming friendships.
The view is almost like peering down on the star-filled night sky at your feet. It's the city at night seen from a height of 450 meters. Make unforgettable memories. City lights stretching for as far as the eye can see. Find it at Tokyo Skytree.
Man, look at all these cars.
Hey, have you heard, by the way? The Japanese company Kobelco is working to make the world's cars lighter.
So what does that mean?
Kobelco is using aluminum and steel technologies to make car parts and bodies lighter around the world.
Ah, Japanese technology. The country of karate. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Why do we always do that?
I don't know.
The talk of the world. Kobelco.
We do our jobs with sincerity and integrity. to make a better living environment. For the people and our society. Today's work, tomorrow's heritage. Shimizu Corporation.
Omron is a company like no other. It defines expectations because engineers are constantly working on something new. Machines that are attuned to the way people think and move. Therein lies technology that will one day help the future. We automate. Omron.
Well, that's it for this edition of Channel Japan. There will be more on the latest information from Japan, so join us again next time.